So let's just let's go to WEBS then. What was the big problem you were trying to solve, and what made you start WEBS?
It was an accident. I started it for myself. I built it for myself because I started this Amazon reseller business, and the process of sourcing new products and developing supplier relationships was super labor intensive. You had to analyze thousands of products. Then you had to figure out who made the product. Then you had to figure out who at the company you should talk to. Then you had to figure out their contact information, and then you had to email them. And our goal when we started was to send like 100 of those emails a week. And then we got to the point where we were sending 500-600 of those emails a week. So as you might imagine, that's a lot of work to do all that stuff. And I thought, well, I don't want to do that work because that sounds to me like really boring, repetitive work. I'd much rather have a virtual assistant in the Philippines do the work. So because I've been using VAs in the Philippines for years, I already knew that the best way to have success with a VA was to give them a very clear set of instructions. The clearer the instructions, the higher the success probability. So I sat down and started to write all these procedures out. And originally they were in Google Docs, but we quickly realized there was all sorts of reasons why that wasn't a good idea. So then we moved them into what is now a competitor's software application. Then I got invited to speak. So I had no Flowster and I had no WEBS product. I just had the procedures that we developed for ourselves, and my company was growing like crazy. Then I got invited to speak at a conference about the success of my company. And thanks to my podcast and my YouTube channel, most of the people in the audience knew who I was. And when I said, hey, I don't have anything for sale, I'm just going to tell you guys how I did this. Take good notes. Good luck. Here we go. Well, it was a very highly detailed talk. Like I basically fire hosed them with a ton of information, a ton of detail. And much to my surprise, at the end of the talk, a large number of people came up to me and said, I loved what you talked about. I agree completely. We need those processes. I shouldn't be doing this myself. I need to hire a VA. Any chance you'd sell me a copy of your procedures? And after like the 12th person said that to me, I was like, oh, I guess this is maybe a thing. And so we did a product launch. We made a copy of our procedures. We did a product launch. We had the support of the organizer of the event. And we sold about 400 grand worth of these things in 5 days. I was like, what? And so, it was pretty profitable, as you might imagine, because digital products don't cost, there's no cost of goods sold. And so the organizer and I split the money half each. It was my product, his audience. So we split it half and half. And that was when I was like, okay, I got to do that again. And so I called a good buddy of mine who had built and sold his software company. And I said, look, this is what happened. This is how much I sold. I want to make a software company. And he said, yeah, I'm in. And so that was when we started coding in the fall of 2017, something like that.
Mm-hmm. And launched in 2018.
Yeah, and then we would do a launch every 6 months, and each launch was about 400 grand. So we were selling, and then we'd do some organic and internal sales, about $1 million a year worth of these templates for Amazon resellers. And I was like, wow, this is phenomenal. I never had this kind of success before.